if you're new to marketing, this course is going to be hugely beneficial to you. It's going to show you probably, well, for me at least, it's been the easiest way to gain new clients other than word of mouth, referrals. So, I just want to make this really quick, but thank you so much for purchasing the course, and we're just going to jump right in. So the very first thing that you want to do if you want to start a cold email campaign is you want to purchase a safe domain. And what a safe domain is it's a domain that's vaguely similar to your money domain or your main domain. So if you do business on the site facebookadninjas.com, you'd want to purchase a couple separate domains like facebookadninjas.org or facebookadninjas.io or facebookadninjas.net, anything similar to that. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to avoid potential blocks. If the ESPs decide that maybe you're looking a little too spammy, they're just going to block your domain, and any and every email you send is going to go to spam, even if it's transactional. So if somebody were to go to your site, fill out a form, that autoresponder that you would send them is no longer going to go to their inbox, it's just going to go to spam. So to avoid that, we use safe domains. Now, it's not 100% given that you're going to be banned by the ESPs, but we just want to remove all chances of that happening. You always want to be super safe when it comes to cold emails, because you just never know. The way that I teach it, it's not going to be overly spammy. We're going to focus on sending personalized emails, and we're not going to send a large volume per day. We're not going to send 20,000 emails a day, 10,000, not even 1,000, not even 100. The way I'm going to show you, we're going to probably send 30 to 50 at the most emails per day. And we send that amount because, like I said, the way I'm going to show you, we're focusing on personalization. And the amount of time it takes to generate personalization for these emails doesn't warrant us sending that many. So once we purchase our safe domain, the next step is forwarding the safe domain to our money domain. And the reason we do this is the majority of people who receive unsolicited emails, they're going to look at the sender, and they're going to look at specifically the domain within the sender's email. So if you're sending from Mike at facebookadninjas.net, they're going to take that facebookadninjas.net and paste it into a browser and find out who's sending them emails. So we want to make sure to forward the safe domain to our money domain so they see our real site. So the way you do this is once you sign up for your GoDaddy domain, you click this button at the top right where your name is, go to My Products, and then under domains, you find the domain that you just purchased. And in my case, it's going to be gramdata.info. My main domain is gramdata.co. And this is the website that I want to send people to when they type in the cold email domain I'm going to use, which is gramdata.info. So you find the one you want to use for your cold email, scroll to the right, and click DNS. And from here, you're going to scroll down until you see this section, forwarding domain. You're going to click add. And if you have SSL on your site, you're going to make sure to select HTTPS and then type in your domain. Don't change this and don't change this. If you do forward with masking, it'll send the traffic to your main site, but it's not going to show your site's actual URL. It's going to show the safe domain. Make sure you show the real URL. So click save. And then it'll reload the page. It's going to show this at the top. Now, just to note, it's not going to happen immediately. It will take anywhere from, an hour, it could be 10 minutes, and it could be 48 hours. It takes time. It's called domain propagation. And all that is all the DNS servers across the world are, changing this to where your safe domain forwards to the main domain. So if it doesn't happen right away, don't get discouraged. Just keep checking it. Eventually it's going to show. So we'll test it out right now. I doubt it's done. Yeah, it's going to take some time. Just take my word for it. Eventually it will start forwarding to your main domain. And with that said, that's it for this module, and we'll move on to the next one. Now, once you purchase your safe domains, the next step that we need to do is sign up for a service called GSuite. If you're not familiar with GSuite, it's pretty much just going to give us access to a paid Gmail account. A regular Gmail account has the ability to send, I think it's 250 emails a day, but a paid GSuite account or a paid Gmail account gives us the opportunity to send 2,500 per day. Now, that's not saying that we're going to send 2,500 a day, but the ability is there when we get to that point, or should it ever become necessary. Now, the way that I'm going to show you how to send cold emails, we probably never will send that many, only because we're focusing more on personalization. So sending 2,500 personalized emails a day doesn't really make sense, unless you have a team of VAs that are building everything for you. But we're not going to do that quite yet. Now head over to gsuite.google.com. and we're going to sign up for an account. So we're going to click Get Started. And our business name is whatever is Gram Data. So I'll type the business name, number of employees, it's just me. I'm in the United States, so I'll leave that checked. Then I'm going to click Next. My first name is Amato. My last name is Serna. And my current email address is, as you can see on my thing right there, my screen, at gmail.com. Click Next. Does your business have a domain? Yes, I have one because we just purchased one through GoDaddy. So yes, I have one I can use. And my domain is going to be gramdata.info. Now my money domain, just to throw this out there, is gramdata.co. And this is where I conduct my business, is on gramdata.co. But to send my cold emails, I'm going to utilize gramdata.info. So I'm going to click Next. And that's the use this domain to set up the account, gramdata.info. Yes. My username, make this whatever you want to send as. Myself, I'll send as Amato, my first name, at gramdata.info. And my password, I won't say it out loud, but I'll type in something easy for me. And I'm not a robot. Agree. It's going to take you to this screen. It's going to ask you to sign in to your freshly made account. And we're going to do my password. Not very strong, but I'm going to delete this anyways. All right, I need to... Interesting. If you have to do this part, just go ahead and do it. There's my code. I'm not hiding anything from you guys, just putting it all out there. Verify it, accept, and here we are. We're going to end up changing this to a cheaper plan that's only $6 per month because we honestly don't need all those features of this plan. But for now, just click Next. And I have to put a payment method. Let's see. I'll have to blur this part out. Just go through the steps and we'll get this set up. All right, your GSuite account has been created. Beautiful. Next step. Next. All right, so this is where it's going to get not really a little tricky, but we're going to need to do some things within GoDaddy. So we're going to click Activate. and then we're gonna have to sign in to activate it. So I already have it all saved. It's gonna send me another code. Verify. Now I'm just gonna say this method doesn't work for me every single time. I usually have to end up doing it myself manually, but let's see if it actually works this time. So I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but yeah, my shirt has changed. My screen recording software decided to mess up halfway through my last video. Yeah, I'm picking this up a couple days later. Anyways, nothing has happened since the last time I was making this tutorial. So once we're signed up for GSuite, we started the plan. It's going to make us verify that we actually do own that domain, and the way it's going to do it is we're going to sign into our GoDaddy account, and it's going to put a text record, or we're going to put a text record on the DNS of the domain at GoDaddy. Usually, it's an automatic process that GSuite and GoDaddy do through integration, but sometimes it doesn't quite work, so you have to do it manually. But let's see this right now, and we'll see if it makes us do it manually. So we're going to click activate, and we're going to sign in. So let me do that real quick. I'm going to grab my code. And this is the box that popped up. We're going to verify that. We're going to click connect. And we're just going to wait and see if it actually works this time. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't work automatically. We have to do it manually. But let's not lose faith. Let's see. I should mention right now that while it's verifying that we actually do own the domain, GSuite is also adding the MX records for Gmail servers to our GoDaddy. So all that means is that even though our domain sits with GoDaddy, it's going to allow us to send emails from Gmail servers, and that's what MX records do. It just tells the mail servers where things are coming and going from. So 4 minutes left. See how much longer this takes. And it looks like we're about done. Shouldn't be too much longer now. And then we'll move on to there it is. And like I was mentioning, there was a problem updating GoDaddy. Please choose another verification method on cue. Let's see. And it looked like it actually added everything. It added our SPF. It added our text records to the Google verification. It added all the MX records, as you can see right here. Let's go back here and try it again. So we're going to hit connect again. And we're going to do this one more time. But I think it's going to work this time. Alright, so as you can see, second time around, it actually worked. Gmail is activated for gramdata.info. So the next step, we're going to create our users. And we actually won't really have to do that. Excuse my Skype. See, add up to 10 users. We don't really need to do all that because we already set up the main user, which is going to be, yourself. You only need that one user. So we're just going to click continue. I'll skip for now. We don't need to do any of this. We're all set. So now we're just going to click this button to the right, or left, I'm sorry, click home. And now we need to move on to adding a couple of text records to our domain's DNS and GoDaddy. And what those are SPF, which I actually think I saw GSuite add it automatically when we verified. We need to add DKIM and need to add DMARC. Now, all of these things right here, all of those I just mentioned, all they're going to do is increase your inbox rate. It's just verifying, who is who, and what to do with people or what to do with emails from people who try to send on your behalf. So let's work on that. So we're going to go back to GoDaddy, and as I mentioned earlier, while it was verifying the domain, it actually already added the SPF record in here. So that's these two right here. And the next step is DKIM. So we'll do that, GSuite and DMark. GSuite. We'll click these two links at the top. This one we actually don't need to click into. We're going to go to GSuite. We're going to, in the search bar at the top, type in DKIM. And we're going to click this first link, authenticate email. Let that load. And we're going to scroll down to authenticate email. And let me move myself out of the way. Now, I need to make sure our correct domain is set up, which in my case is granddata.info. And we're going to generate a new record. Stronger is better, so we'll do 2048. GoDaddy can accept that, so no issues. And a prefix selector, we can leave it Google, that's fine. So click generate. Now we're going to copy this. Well, we'll just copy both of these. We'll paste them to the side in any note-taking program you have. We're going to go back to our GoDaddy DNS. We're going to click add. The type is text, so TXT. The host name it told us to use is Google./ domain key. And then we're going to copy that large string it gave us, put it in as a text value, and we're going to save that. DKIM is done. Go back to authenticate, and we're going to do start authentication. So yeah, it's telling us, as I was kind of mentioning before, things need to propagate, so it will take a little bit. We can keep trying that to see if it'll happen, and see, is it going to do it this time? So it looks like it might actually do it this time, so we'll just let that work in the background, and in the meantime we'll set up the DMark. So we'll come back to this screen, and we're going to go to about DMark. Now we're going to click turn on DMark, and let me move myself out of the way again. Now it's going to give you 3 different options as to how to handle emails if they fail DMark. For our reasoning, or our reasons right now, we're just going to use the first one, take no action. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to go to our domain DNS again. We're going to click add. The type is going to be, again, text record, so TXT. The host is going to be @ and the value, we're going to paste it in, the one we just copied. And then you want to make sure that you change this to reflect your email. So we're going to do the one I created, amato@granddata.info. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to click save. And now we have SPF, DKIM, and DMark set up for our domain. And this is just going to ensure that the emails we send are going to go to the inbox. Because just in 2020, Google's gotten very smart, or the ESPs, I should say, email service providers, and they want to see these values verifying that you are who you say you are. Most people who are sending cold emails are not going to take the time to do this, and they're changing their domains every 2 minutes because they're sending complete trash as email. So having these is just going to give you the highest chance of hitting the inbox. And sending cold emails, trying to generate new business, we want that. And actually, to conclude this module, I wanted to show you how to check to make sure everything's set up properly. So if you go to kitterman.com/spf/validate.html, and you go to this first field right here, and you type in the domain that you just set up. So in my case, it's granddata.info. Type that in, and then put get SPF record. and it's going to show you that everything is set up properly. This is, when you do it, this is what you want to see. So it tells us, this is the text records that they see, the verification, DMARC, and our SPF record, and to see if it's valid. And it's telling you right here that, this is it. And then at the very end, the record is passed validation test. So once you have everything set up, you definitely want to head over to that website, check in, make sure everything is kosher. It should be, but just double check it. And then lastly, I want to show you that indeed, gramdata.info is now forwarding to gramdata.co. The propagation is finished, so we'll just quickly type that in. Info, and now it's forwarding. Okay, well, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. So once your SPF, DKIM, and DMARC are all set up and verified that they are working correctly, and you've forwarded your safe domain to your money domain, now the next thing to do is to start to warm up your emails. Now the reason you want to do this is because in order to send cold emails at a decent scale, you're going to want to give your safe domain a bit of history. So you want to get a lot of traffic of incoming email and outgoing email. You want to build up some email threads. So what I recommend to do is for about 1 to 2 weeks, try to keep it 2 weeks. You're going to sign up for a lot of newsletters, so you get a lot of incoming traffic. You want to start sending emails to either your friends, or if you have multiple emails for yourself, send emails to those emails and then start replying to it. Or, if you go the family friends route, send them emails and ask them, hey, I'm going to be sending you an email. If you could just please reply to it. And all this is going to do is show that your emails, or they're going to give your emails a high sender reputation, because you have outgoing mail that's being opened and is being responded to. So that's telling the ESPs that, hey, this is a safe sender, and it's going to increase your chances for your emails to end up in the inbox and not go to spam. So with that said, I'll just show you how we do that. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but we'll show it anyways. So we're going to go motto@gramdata.info, and then I'll put in my password. So the first time you log in, this is what you're going to see, and you can open these up and read them, or you can just mark as read and archive, which I'll do. And like I was mentioning, you're going to want to start signing up for a bunch of newsletters. So we'll just go to Google, type in marketing, learn how to type, newsletters. And let's see, 14 of the best marketing newsletters, perfect. And once we're on this site, we can just scroll down the list and sign up for all of these newsletters. So we'll just click this button to subscribe, click this one, and just go down the line. And I won't do all of them, but you get the idea. So we're just gonna go here and let's see, and start signing up for all of them. And what this is gonna do is it's just gonna send a lot of high quality traffic into your inbox. Let's see here, read and agreed. And that's all we're looking to do, is just get traffic in and out. Let's see. And once we're done with this, I'm not a robot. Once we're done with this, we're going to start sending the traffic. Now, as you can see, we're starting to get some traffic coming into our inbox, which is exactly what we wanted to accomplish. We just wanted high quality incoming traffic. Now from here, I'll move myself out of the way real quick. We would just start sending emails to friends and family and have them respond on a daily basis. It's going to annoy them for a couple days, but they're friends and their family, so they won't mind. Just tell them, hey, I'm doing something for my business. Just please respond to my email, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help you. I mean, it's nothing too hard, right? But this is just, like I said, just going to build up your sender reputation, because you're sending out to an inbox. It's being opened. It's not bouncing. It's not being deleted quickly. It's not being marked as spam. It's being opened and it's being replied to. And that's going to build your sender reputation pretty quickly. So just do this for about 2 weeks. And then once everything is warmed up, that's when we're going to start actually building and sending our cold emails. Thank you. So while our email account is warming up, that gives us the perfect opportunity to start scraping the data that we're eventually going to use to send to. And the way that I like to scrape my data is using a program called Scrapebox along with the proxy service called Scraper API. And the reason Scraper API is such a good proxy service, in my opinion, the absolute best one to use for Scrapebox, is the fact that you give it one login and it will just automatically, as Scrapebox is scraping, it's going to rotate out different IP addresses to keep you running consistently. With a lot of proxy services, they give you dedicated IPs, or even sometimes they are rotating IPs, but they're not of high quality, and they'll get banned. And once they get banned, your scrape stops. The thing that I love about Scraper API is they literally have millions and millions and millions of IPs, and it's like the API takes care of it. So let's say one gets blocked, it automatically goes and it tries the next IP that it has in line. So it literally never stops scraping as long as you're using Scraper API. And the only caveat to that is as you can see on my screen, there are different plans, starting from 250,000 API calls a month all the way up to infinity if you want to pay for that. Now, for most users, the hobby plan is going to be more than enough. The only reason that I'd recommend to get the startup over the hobby plan is this right here, 25 concurrent requests. Now, all that means is that it will allow Scrapebox to process data faster because it can connect to multiple different IPs at any given time. So instead of only being able to process 10 URLs at once, it can process 25. I mean, you're going to literally double the amount of data you can collect in the same amount of time. So if you have it in your budget, I'd highly recommend Startup over Hobby. If you're budget conscious, start with Hobby, and that's going to be more than enough for you. And once you go through the process of purchasing this, and while I'm here, use the code AMATO10 when you check out, and it's going to take off 10%. 10% of the monthly cost. So once you've purchased, it's going to give you an API key, and then you're going to come over to this page right here, scraperapi.com/scrapebox, and they give you a pretty detailed rundown of how you integrate Scraper API into Scrapebox. It's pretty straightforward. You're not going to have any issues if you just follow this to a T. And once you've done that, we're going to open up Scrapebox, as you can see right here. I've already done. Now, the site that I like to get my data from, because I feel like they keep it more up to date and they use emails that actually get checked, I like to scrape data from Instagram. Now I'm going to open up the Excel file that I've included in the course that allows you to build queries to scrape Instagram very easily. So let me open that real quick. So as you can see, there's a list of all the cities in the United States. There's 29,724 of them. And there's one keyword. So what you put in this keyword is, what kind of user that you're focusing on that you want to reach. And it's going to look for this word anywhere on the Instagram page, more than likely in the biography of the account. So for instance, let's just say that we want influencers. So we're going to use as our keyword influencer. And then it's going to automatically update all of these to include site Instagram.com, in text influencer, and the word Moody. And that's just a city, so it's looking for influencers in Moody. I'm not sure where Moody is, but that's what it's going to look for. And to make sure we get some results, I'll look for Los Angeles. And here it is, and here's our query for Los Angeles. And we'll copy this. And we're going to put this directly in the Scrapebox. And once we've done that, Actually, before we do anything in Scrapebox, I'm going to go over to Settings, Connections, Timeouts, and Other Settings. And from in this menu, you want to make sure that the email grabber and harvester, the numbers associated with those two are not higher than the amount of concurrent requests that you have with your Scraper API plan. So for instance, my Scraper API plan, I have 300 concurrent requests. I don't want to ever get close to that 300 because I'm going to start seeing a lot of errors in Scrapebox. So I drop it down to 280. So let's say you have 30, you're going to drop it down to, I would say 20. If you have 100, drop it to 80. And you get the point. So we'll put mine back up to 280. Press OK. And once you've done that, and once you've entered your key for a Scraper API, you're ready to start scraping Google. So we're going to click Start Harvesting. And then we're going to make sure Google's checked. And then you also want to make sure that Harvester Status Process is enabled because we wanted to use Scraper API. And then we're just going to click Start. And it'll take a little bit to get started, but once it does, you're going to start to see this number jump up. So we'll just give it a minute and let's see what happens. I want to make you watch this. I'll pause the video and come back. So as you can see, our scrape finished and it returned us 269 results. So we're going to click Go Back. From this, we're going to click Close. And then here's our list of 269 Instagram accounts. Now, before we start scraping for the email, you want to remove any duplicates that may be in the list. So you're going to go to Remove Filter, then do Remove Duplicate URLs. Do not do duplicate domains because that's going to remove anything with Instagram.com in it. And since we're only scraping Instagram, you literally clear out your entire list. So just do Remove Duplicate URLs. And it removed 8 duplicates from the list. Now from here, you're just going to go to Grab Check and grab emails by crawling sites. Make sure this is checked. Use Harvester URLs. And then you could click Start, but if you wanted to filter out certain emails based on roles, so for instance, if you wanted to remove webmaster or maybe info or contact or just whatever, any kind of role-based email, you can come over here, set filter, and then you can tell it, remove any email containing the word. So we're just going to do admin, administrator, contact, info, webmaster, hello, hi, hey. People use a lot of really weird emails, but we'll just do those for the start. So we'll close that out, and then we're going to click Start. And you'll see everything start to immediately process. And you can see right here that we're going up pretty quickly. And let's see how many we get from that 261. So as you can see, it's finished and it tells us where it saved it. So we'll click this blue link and it opens up the file that it just made. And here we are. We now have 89 emails that are now targeted as people who have listed themselves as influencers in Los Angeles. So that's a really nice starting point for our cold emails. Now, this is not to say that this is the only way we can collect emails. There's literally endless ways that we can collect emails using Scrapebox. Another source that we can utilize to scrape for emails, and this will actually allow us to get a little more granular on who we're targeting, is Facebook. So we're going to clear this one out. And again, I included the Excel file to build the queries very easily in the course. So we're going to open up that file. And right off the bat, this one probably looks way more complicated, but it's really not, too crazy. Again, a list of the cities in the United States, 29,724 of them. And what we're going to do here is we're going to look for sites that contain, let's go over here, facebook.com/pages/categories/ and this is the beauty of this one, whatever page category you want to target, we can tell Google to only show those results. So in this one right here that I've set up just for demonstration, we're focusing on any pages that have said we are a health beauty page. So we're just going to, again, find Los Angeles because I know that'll return results. Let's see. Here's that one right here. We're going to copy that and we're going to go to Scrapebox and paste it in again. And then just click Start Harvesting. Click Start. And again, I'll pause the video and I'll come back once it's done. And it's finished up. And it looks like we got 300 results. So we're going to click Go Back, Close. And again, we're going to remove any duplicate URLs. So remove filter, remove duplicate URLs, and remove 7. Then again, we're going to click Grab Check, grab emails by crawling sites, and then options, set filters, keep those filters or remove them depending on what you want to do, and then click Start. And let's see what this gets us. And I'll pause the video and come back when it's done. And it looks like it's all finished again. So once again, we're going to click Email Saved As and click the link. And it netted us. I mean, it's kind of disappointing, but 7 emails. I mean, it is what it is. It's 7 emails we didn't have before, but we'll make it work. So click out of that, close it out, and the last one that I want to show you is LinkedIn. So open up that file to set up our query. And then right here you get a nice big notification. You must run these in the meta scraper within Scrapebox, and I'll show you where that is right now. So from here, you're going to tell it what email service you want to target. You could put Ymail or Yahoo or Live or Hotmail, but majority of people use Gmail, so we'll just leave it as Gmail. And then you tell it what job titles you want to target and the location. And once again, we'll just do Los Angeles, since majority of the time it'll return results. So this one is Chief Marketing Officers in Los Angeles, and that query looks like this. Site is LinkedIn.com with this little -n that's going to tell Google only to return the actual profiles. In text, we're looking for Gmail, Los Angeles, California, and then in the title of the page, LinkedIn has it puts the job title in the page title. So we're going to tell it, look for in title, Chief Marketing Officer. So we're going to copy that. And now we're going to load up Scrapebox. So per this up here, you must run these in the meta scraper. Now I'll show you how to access that. So you go to add-ons, and I've already added it, but if you haven't, go to show available add-ons, and you scroll down, and you would click this, and then you just do install add-on. It's really that easy. So once you've done that, once you've installed it, you're going to close this, go to add-ons, and then click Google Metascraper add-on. And it's going to open up a new box. And you just put all of your keywords right here. So we're going to paste the one that we just did. And make sure proxies are enabled, which they are. And then we're going to do start. And once this is done, I'll come back. And this is finished, and it's returned us 3 results. So if we drag this description out, drag it out a little more, I'll make this box bigger. You can see right here in the meta description has their email, Benny Mayberry@gmail.com. Benny Mayberry. There you go. I promise I passed kindergarten. Then here's this lady's CrockettSJ@gmail.com, and then this one is promobackups1@gmail.com. So the next step from here is, let me move this out of the way, click export, and we're going to do it as an Excel spreadsheet to make sure all of these are checked. Actually, we don't need the keywords. those are the ones we want. So click OK. Tell it where to put it. We'll just do meta scraper test. Save it. And now we can exit out of that and bring up Excel. Then we'll open that file. Where is it at? Right there. Now here we have what we just did inside of Scrapebox. Now, I don't know about you personally, but I don't want to sit here and copy all of these, I don't want to sit here and do this manually, like delete all that. I don't want to do that. Nobody should do that. That's a waste of time. I have a couple of Excel functions that we can use to do this very easily. Let me grab those and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've grabbed my function and here it is right here. Now, right here it has E1 as the reference cell, but we need to change that to B2 because that's where the first one is. So we're going to come over here, do Control H, and we're going to type E1. We're going to change that to B2, then replace all. Then we're going to close this out, copy this, come back to our Excel, and then in column D, row 2, we're going to paste our function. Click enter, and look at that. Just like that, we have the emails. Now, sometimes we might have to do a little bit more cleanup. Just because you see messed it up. So you don't just do what I just did. Copy them, right click, and then paste values. Now I can come in and edit this. So we got to remove that period at the end. But just like that, we now have their first name, their title, and their email. Just like that. Very easy. So the next step, after we've collected all of the emails and we've cleaned the data down to make it work how we need it to work, the next step past there is actually cleaning our list, or just making sure we remove dead emails or just emails that don't exist anymore. And we're going to do that with a program or a web app called NeverBounce. And I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'll show you how to do that. Thank you. And now that we have all of our data from Scrapebox, the next thing we need to do is put all of that data into one file, a CSV, and then upload it to this service right here on my screen, NeverBounce. And what this is going to do is it's going to remove all the dead emails. So when we go to send our emails, we're not getting a lot of bounces, which is going to ruin our sender reputation. So before any cold email campaign you send, you always want to clean your list with a service like NeverBounce. I recommend NeverBounce because 1, I've never had issues with it. It's always done a very good job. And 2, the pricing is on point. It's not too expensive. So let's open Excel. And then let's open the first one. Copy those. Paste them in. Copy those, paste them in. Now we need to separate the email from the URL. And if you look, Scrapebox, the way the Scrapebox saves it is it inserts this little pipe between the email and the URL. So we're going to highlight this. We're going to go to Data, Text to Columns, and then we're going to select the first option, which is delimited. Click Next. And then we're going to do delimiter is other. It's a pipe, so hold shift and do the pipe key. And you can see right away what happens. Now it's separating the data. Click next, and there we go. Now we have our emails in one column and the URL in the next one. Now from here, highlight column A, and this is just to remove any duplicates if there is any. So highlight column A, come over here and still in the data tab, click remove duplicates. Expand the selection to include column B, the URLs, and then unselect all. And we want to do it by column A because that's where our emails are. So click the checkbox, click OK, and there was 3 and it removed them. Perfect. So now we have a clean list without any duplicates. So we're gonna go File, Save As. Let's save it wherever you want. I'm gonna put it in this one. I'm gonna call it NB, so Never Bounce Test, and save it as a CSV because that's the file type that Never Bounce is gonna want. CSV, save. Now we can close this out. Close this out. Another great thing about Never Bounce is that once you sign up, you get 1,000 credits for free. So anything up to 1,000 emails, you can clean them up for free. So in our case, I forget how many we had, but it's definitely under 1,000, so we'll get this one for free. So we're going to register. First and last name. My email is amato@gramdata.info. My password, make it super simple. I have read and understand the terms of use. Create my account. Create my account. There we go. Now verified. Sent the verification email. We have to wait for that. There we go. Click verify my account. And now we can start cleaning. So all we need to do is click add list. Then drop it in. And that's going to go away. And eventually you're going to see it pop up here and it'll allow you to clean it for free. There we go. And it disappeared again. There it is. Awesome. So now we can do clean my list. We can pay using the credits. And this is just going to process those and tell us which emails are good and which ones are bad. And it looks like the majority are valid, which is a good thing. This is what you want to see. And I'll pause the video and come back when it's done. And as you can see, it's all finished. We ended up with 80 valid emails, 6 invalid, 2 unknown, and 5 are accept alls, which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. We can still send to those. But me personally, I just like to send to the valid. Everything else, I'll just drop it. So we can download the file, and we're only going to save the deliverables. So check that and download. And once that's done, we'll open up the file. And you can see right there, everything that's valid. So now that we have clean data, now we can start building our campaigns. So I'll see you in the next one. The next thing that we need to do is set up a Chrome extension called Gmask. Gmask is a mail merge extension that integrates with Gmail and Google Drive and allows you to create spreadsheets within Google Drive where you can put your emails and then load that list or that spreadsheet into a list that can be mailed to within Gmail. That might sound a little complicated, but in process, it's actually quite easy. So I'm going to walk you through how to do it right now. So the first thing we need to do is go to Google, type in Gmask, and here it is right here. Open it up, and the big red button to the right, I'm going to click Add to Gmail. Brings up this, add to Chrome, add extension, and it's already installed. So now we need to sign in. Choose the account that you want to use, and then click allow. And it's done. Now we just need to turn this off or click this off the screen. And now we don't need to do that. Move myself out of the way. Now Gmask is already set up, but there's a couple extra steps that we need to take to make sure that we give ourselves the best opportunity to hit the inbox and not spam. So the first thing that we need to do is log into our GoDaddy and go to the DNS of the domain that we are going to be sending emails from. In my case, it's gramdata.info. So I'll click DNS. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up what's called the tracking link. All this is it's a separate link that if you leave a link in your email, it utilizes this custom tracking link that's unique to only you. So it gives you a better chance of hitting the inbox. And the reason that helps is because anybody who sends a link using Gmask is using the same tracking link. And if somebody on Gmask is sending a lot of spam, you're using the same tracking link as them. Once Google sees that, or I'm sorry, not Google, once the ESPs see that, they're going to send your email as spam because they see that tracking link that's tied to a bunch of spam accounts. That's why we want a custom tracking link that's unique to just us. And that's what we're doing right now. We're setting up that custom tracking link. So now that we have our DNS open, we're going to scroll down, click add. The type we need to do is a CNAME. So in the host value, you can use any word you want that you want to use. I just like to use ping. You could use track, you could use click, whatever you want. I like to use ping. And then points to, we're going to use this right here. And I'll leave this in the documentation of the course so you can have access to it. And then TTL, time to live, leave that as 1 hour and click save. Now in a while, if you go to ping.gramdata.info, it should forward to Gmask. And propagation again, if you remember from earlier when we were doing our domain authentication, anytime you make changes to DNS, there's this thing called propagation. And it takes however long it takes. It could take 5 minutes, it could take 3 hours, it could take a day. It takes how long it takes. You can't speed it up. If I check this later on, it's going to forward to the Gmask site. That's exactly what you want it to do. For now, it's not propagated, so it's not doing anything yet. But trust and believe that this is set up correctly. Now, that's not all we need to do to finish setting up the tracking link. We need to tell Gmask, hey, this is our new tracking link. Please use this for our emails. And the way we do this is come back to your email, go to Compose, and we're going to send an email to this domain right here. This is a domain that Gmask uses to set your custom tracking domain. So that's what we're sending to. Our subject line is going to be the link that we just made. So ping.gramdata.info, and that's all we need to do. Click the Gmask button. And now we've just told Gmask, use this as our tracking link for our links in our emails. And there you go. Refresh, and there you see, tracking domain set for model.gramdata.info. Open it up. Your tracking domain of ping.gramdata.info has been assigned. Perfect. It's exactly what we want. Now, the next step in the process is we need to set up a Google Sheet where we can actually put our emails to utilize the mail merge features of Gmask. So we're going to open up Drive, just drive.google.com, and we're going to click New, click Google Sheets. You can name this whatever you want. I'll just name it email campaign. Got it. And then we're just going to put here email. And then here, we're going to click master. Because this will be our master list that we draw from to make smaller lists for our daily sends. So that's set up. Now we need to open our cleaned up list from Neverbounce. And let's copy all of these, all the valids. Copy. Get rid of Excel and paste into Google Sheets. I'm kind of a nut when it comes to this kind of stuff. I don't like Arial, I like Roboto, so I'm going to change it. And I like my fonts to be small, so I'll make them 9. So email, and we'll call this link. Or actually, let's call it URL. All right. Cool. So now that that's done, you don't want to just jump right in and send. How many do we have here? 81 emails. We're going to segregate this down to smaller lists that we can, do daily sends of, maybe 5 to 10 emails to start. And with that said, actually, you never want to send a lot of emails from the jump. You want to slowly warm up your email as time goes on. So the first week, actually after the first 2 weeks, you're going to be warming up your email, as we discussed earlier in the course. Take those 2 weeks. Don't jump the gun and start sending your cold emails. It's not going to be good for your domain authority. Just do the 2 weeks, and once you pass those 2 weeks and you want to start sending your cold emails, the first week of actually sending cold emails, 5 to 10 emails per day. Second week, 10 to 15. The week after that, 15 to 25. And then you never really want to get above 30 to 50. Leave that as a maximum number of emails per day. The way we're going to do it, it just doesn't make sense to send that many. So never more than 50 per day. So now that we have this, the master, we're going to duplicate it. And then we're going to give this today's date, or whatever date it is that you're going to start sending your emails. So 2020, 08, 20. And then we're going to chop it down to 10. So delete all those. And this would be the first list that we sent to, right here. And now Gmask is ready for us to start sending. Now, even though we're on the free plan of Gmask, it still allows us to send 50 emails per day, but you're going to want the paid version because, as I'm going to show you, Gmask Pricing, as you can see here, on the minimal plan and the free plans, you're going to have, you're going to have a Gmask footer inside of your email. You really don't want to have that in your emails, because it's going to make you look spammy. So if anything, pay for the standard plan so you can get that removed. But the one I recommend is a premium for the simple feature of auto follow-ups. The auto follow-ups are a game changer. Now what that is it'll allow you to tell Gmask, we're going to send to a list of 10 people today the initial email. And then we can set up rules to where if they don't open your email, or maybe they don't click a link inside your email, you can say, hey, if they don't do either one of those things, or one or the other, you can have it automatically send a follow-up. Hands off, you never have to touch it once you set it up. It's beautiful. So you want to pay for the auto follow-ups, get premium. It's going to be worth it in the end. Now, one of the last things that we need to do before we begin sending emails is set up an avatar for our account. Believe it or not, this will actually help the inbox rate. So what you're going to want to do is log into GSuite. And then once you're logged in, click Users. And then click your name. Then click the avatar, the default one. And then just choose the image you want to use. Let's use this one. Why not? And so that's all you really need to do from there. You can close this out. And it will take a little bit for it to show up. Just refresh the page. There you go. It's already showing. Now we can actually begin the process of sending a campaign. And the way that's done is you click this little Sheets button at the top, give it access, choose your account, allow, give it a second to do what it has to do, success, close window. All right, let's try this again. Click the Sheets button. Now we're going to choose that sheet that we created in the previous module, email campaign. And now we're going to choose the tab. So we have a master. We don't want to send to that one. We want to send to this one. So we're going to choose this one and connect to spreadsheet. There you go. Now we're going to send to those 10 recipients. All these people right here. Now it's just a matter of, coming up with a catchy headline and your body copy. Let me just move myself out of the way real quick. Put myself in the other corner. All right, now we're going to utilize those premium features that we're going to pay for, the auto follow-ups. So to do that, we're going to click this button right here for the settings, and we're going to click auto follow-up, and then we're going to set the rules. So stage 1, we're going to turn it on, and we're going to do, if nobody replies to me within 3 days of the initial email, we're going to send just something very basic like, hey, I don't know how to type. No, you are a busy person, but did you have a moment to read my previous email about, then insert your service, whatever it is right there, XXXXX. Thank you, and look forward to chatting. Motto. All right, so now, if nobody replies to your first email within 3 days, it's automatically going to send this email. Now we're going to do one more step. If nobody replies, or if they don't reply in 7 days, we're going to send them just another quick note. I just wanted to try you one more time before I gave up. If you haven't had a chance to view my first email, would appreciate if you could take a look. A motto. Now that that's out of the way, 3 days after no reply, please excuse my Skype. 3 days after no reply, they get this. 7 days after no reply, so another 4 days from when this is sent, they're going to get this on autopilot. It's beautiful. Now we're going to click into advanced. And the great thing about Gmask is it's going to give you a secondary layer of email verification. Now we've already done this in Everbounce, so Gmask shouldn't find any invalid emails, but you never know, so I always like to turn this on. It's a free feature. Just do it. Just use it. So verify emails before sending. And then I like to give my campaigns a name that when I see it, I recognize what it is. So we can do first touch, then the date. And then we can send. Or if you wanted to get really advanced, we can come in here, move myself out of the way again. I'll put myself in the middle, so I don't have to switch myself again. So we duplicate this, and we're going to call this 2020 21. Delete this. Let's see, this one ends on booking at official. So make sure that we know that we already sent to those. We'll turn them green. I'm going to do the next 10. So there's 11, nope, 10. Right there, copy those. And we're going to put them in this sheet. And go back to master. Highlight these, just to give yourself a reference, like, hey, I already sent to these. Don't send to them again. We're going to come back. And we're going to try the schedule feature. So with the schedule feature, let's say that instead of being on this sheet, we had loaded up this one, 821. We could then essentially come in here and set a custom date. Say, hey, on 821 at whatever time you want to send it, it's going to send that sheet. And then you could actually do this for every single day of the month. And then in one day, in one sitting, you sit there and schedule out every day's emails with every day's follow-ups. So it essentially ends up being that you've now scheduled your entire month's emails in one sitting. And you know that the initial email is going to go out, and all of those autoresponders are going to send out all automated. It's a beautiful thing, and this is again why there's so much value in this program, because it's literally everything is on autopilot. All you have to do is, if somebody responds to you, you have to be on top of that. But even past that, if you wanted to I don't recommend it. If you want to send 100, 200 emails a day, you tell it here, I want to send 200 emails per day, and I want to pause between those emails, and you set a delay. So it looks a little more human. So you're not just sending 200 emails all at one time. It's sending an email, it's going to wait 5 seconds, send another one, wait 5 seconds, send another one. If you are going to utilize this, just try to use it, carefully. And I would do 10 to 60 or 1 to 5 minutes. Since it's all going to be automated anyways, it really doesn't affect you, the time span that they're being sent. So just keep that in mind. But with all of that said, this is Gmask, and now the focus we can turn our focus onto how to write good headlines and some good copy to, one, get opens, and two, get people to respond to you. So I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. So now I'm going to show you how to do the advanced follow-ups. I showed you earlier in the course how to do the basic follow-ups, which is using the menu within the compose window. So I'll show you that again real quick. So if you were composing a message and you added a follow-up here, this is the basic way. There's another way to do it. Well, there's a couple other ways to do it, but I'm going to show you a different way when you need to switch up the subject line of the email. Because in this one, you can't switch the subject. You have to use the same subject as the first email. And on some of the follow-ups, we want to be able to switch it up. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So to do that, or to be able to show you how to do that, I actually need to send a campaign. And I set up a test campaign or a test sheet that just has some of my own emails. So I'm going to do email campaign. Well, the first thing, let me back up. Click the Sheets button. There we go. Email campaign. And I set up a test, so test. And then connect to spreadsheet. It's going to connect. I'm not sure why that's there, but I'm going to move myself out of the way. Subject is, this is a test. And testing 1, 2, 3. All right, and to send this, we just click the Gmask button. I'm not going to add anything else because I just want to quickly run through this for you guys. So I'm going to send it, and Gmask is going to eventually send this. Just wait for it. Let's see. It's processed them, and it's going to be sending them shortly. Awesome. So we'll wait for that. And I'll pause it and come back when it's sent. And the way we see it is we click this right here, Gmask report sent copies, and then this is an email that we sent. Testing 1, 2, 3. Or if you even look in the sent folder, you're going to see that I sent 2 different emails to myself. Awesome. So to do the advanced follow-up, we're going to click this button at the top. And move myself out of the way again. Past campaigns. This is I didn't write test the right way, but this is a test. And then we want to send it to those people who did not open it. So let's just do didn't reply. There we go. Click that. And compose follow-up. And the only reason we're using this one is because we want to add a new subject line. So this is a test number 2, follow-up 1. And this is a test. Now this is an important step. You have to click the Gmask button, and then we're going to click advanced. We're going to click send as replies, and then we choose our campaign, and we're going to choose this as a test. So we're sending an email to people in the campaign "This is a test" who didn't reply to that initial campaign, and we want to send this as a reply to that, right? So I'm going to choose that, and now when this email gets sent, it's going to be in the same email string as this campaign. So you kind of see how this is a little more advanced than the other way, which only allows you to, just where'd it go? It only allows you to change up the text. It doesn't allow you to change the subject. Doing it the way I just showed you allows you to add a new subject in it, but still put it in line and group it with the same email, with the original email. So I hope this helps, and this will give you a little ammunition for when you go to start building all those follow-ups. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email is in the course documentation, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.